would you feel if you could skip the entire build a $10,000 custom website process and just jump right into making sales to your business using a free social media platform? The answer is obvious. You'd feel great, but too many business owners spend a ton of money and a ton of time building a website before they start selling. The truth is, today Instagram is an amazing tool for business. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how you can sell more on Instagram, whether it's your coaching, your services, or your products, even if you don't have a website or a funnel. First, you want to treat the upper half of your Instagram profile like the landing page view of your homepage. So it should scream at the person that you are targeting. It should be super clear who you help and how. So the very first thing you want to do is make sure that your username is your brand name or as close to your business name as possible. In the name field of your profile, you want to put in keywords that your target person is searching for on social media. And then in your bio, the very first line, you want it to say who you help and how. The second line is why you, what makes you unique and different above all your competitors. And the third line is a unique call to action as to what's in it for them to click the link below your bio. If you nail all this key messaging that I just covered, you're gonna make sure that the moment someone lands on your profile, they're gonna know whether you're perfect for them or not. And that's what you want. You don't need to attract every single follower to your profile. You just need the right followers for your business. So now that your profile is screaming at your target person, now you need to attract them to your profile through your content. And this is the real meat to the potatoes on how you sell on Instagram. Back in the day, I used to teach business owners that you should create Instagram stories and save them to your profile as highlights and treat the highlight bubbles as the pages of your website. So you can have an about me, a services page, case studies, a contact me page. That strategy still works, but today there is an even better content format that can still get that same information across, and people are actually going to this content first before highlights. More specifically, I'm talking about pinned reels that stay at the top of your profile. So there are 3 reels that I recommend you make and pin to the top of your profile, and this is the navigation menu, so to speak, of your website, your Instagram website. Your very first reel should be an introduction of yourself. And ideally, you include who you help and how. Now, you don't have to go into details here, but I have some examples, so maybe you'll get some inspiration from these. Here's mine, and in this reel, I'm directing people to the caption to meet. And this is where we really go into the details of who I am, my background, and who I help. And then I encourage people to meet me in the comments. So this took me about 5 minutes to make, but it can be this simple. Here's another example. This is my friend Louise. So she took some B-roll and added some text on top of her B-roll instead of the caption like I did. Now, if we go to her caption, she keeps her caption really short and sweet, but she's still inviting people to have a conversation and get to know her. And if we go over to Louise's profile, we can see that this is pinned right to the top. So see how there's that little pin icon? That means that this is pinned right to the top. So even though it was published 3-4 months ago, it's always going to live at the top of her profile. Here's another example. So you can see 3 pinned reels right at the top. And if I hit the first one, this is purely an introduction reel. Hi, I'm Susan Hyatt. I'm a life coach, and there's a ton of personality. You get a real sense of what Susan is like as a life coach. And then we also have in the caption, an invite to meet Susan and connect and chat in the comments. There's so many different ways you can introduce yourself, but the key is this is going to be the first stop where someone is going to start on your profile, on your journey, so that they can get to know you and see, are you the right person for them or not? The second type of reel that you want to pin to the top of your profile, honestly, not enough people are doing this one, myself included. It was a little trickier to find this one, but I did find on Talk and Sleep's profile, right at the top, you can see a pinned reel that says, you want to work with me. So there's a headline, there's text. I can see that it's really clear. When I tap into this, I can see Valerie is showing her services or offers right behind her using the green screen effect. And then the caption sticker is allowing me to read what she's saying as well. And then if we go into the caption, it's even more clear of what her services are based on, the age of your child. This type of reel might not get a ton of engagement, but that's not the point here. The point is, especially if you don't have a website, make it really, really simple for people to understand how they can hire you, how they can work with you. So it can be this simple using a green screen effect. that. And just make sure that you are driving people to, the hint is in her caption. But before we get into that, let me show you the third type of reel that you should be making and pinning to the top of your profile. Again, not enough people are making this, and I'm also guilty of this because what I'm talking about is client or student results and testimonials. Oftentimes, I just share these as Instagram stories and then they disappear after 24 hours. But if you really want to show your new visitors on your profile why you're different and the kind of results you can help people get, I highly recommend making a reel where you highlight the results and testimonials of your clients. So here's a profile that has 3 pinned posts right at the top. But when I go to their Reels feed, there are even more pinned posts there. So this is where this account, Sarah, is keeping her testimonials. So there is a client testimonial here where the client is talking on camera. And there's also this one. I love this one because Sarah is introducing it. We know Sarah, we follow Sarah. So Sarah is saying, I've had this client work with me for 10 weeks. The growth is huge. So she's already introducing and kind of hooking us in. And here she's showing the before, and soon she's going to tell the story of the after. So this kind of reel does take a little bit more work, but this is an amazing case study for her to have. She's showing visually the results that her client got in just 10 weeks of working with her. So if we look at the caption here, she gives a little breakdown of what her client did. And then she also includes a call to action for someone who's seen this to take the next steps. One thing I want to reiterate here is you have multiple places to pin posts. So here on Sarah's profile, these aren't reels, these are image-based posts that are included right at the top of her profile. But then on her Reels feed, she has even more pinned posts. So there are 5 pinned options right there. So make sure that you're creating content that you are going to pin and make sure it's really good content, meaning it introduces people to who you are, it makes it clear how you can help them, and there are some wins and testimonials that they can get inspired by. Now notice that a lot of the captions in those pinned reels that we looked at were driving viewers to message them privately in the DMs. Why is this? Well, we know from the years of Instagram developing, as it's become more of a business marketing tool, we know that the DMs are amazing for sales. The DMs are where those one-on-one conversations happen, and it's where people who are considering your offer or are maybe on the fence, it's where they want to reach out and have a connection to you and make sure you're a real person or you're a real business and that you can actually help them. So yes, the DMs are something that you should not ignore because sales are in the DMs. They're literally waiting there for you. But a lot of accounts have trouble generating DMs from interested leads. So one tool that has really helped me in my business for the last 2 years is called ManyChat. This is a software that is connected to my Instagram account and it runs 24/7 in the background without me, so that whenever someone comments a keyword that I give them in my caption, whether I'm at work, whether I'm sleeping, it doesn't matter. The software is going to fire off and reply to their comment. It's going to send them a DM with the information that they are seeking from my post. It's kind of amazing. Or magic, should I say. Maybe you've seen DM automation increase more and more in your industry. Whenever you see posts that are saying, comment keyword and I'll send you XYZ, generally that means they are using this ManyChat software to fire off their DMs. Now, if you don't use ManyChat, that's also okay. You can still use the same strategy where you invite your viewers to comment a keyword and you can manually follow up and send them a DM. I truly believe this is not a spammy marketing tactic whatsoever, because when someone comments your keyword, that is them consenting to you sending them a message with the information that they're looking for. It could be a link to your YouTube video, your blog post, your freebie, your sales page, your call booking tool, but generally you make it clear in your caption what they're going to get once they comment your keyword. One major caveat here, using a tool like ManyChat is not a banned software, so it's not going to get your Instagram account banned. I've been on Instagram for over 10 years now, and I remember the automation software of 2016 that used to get accounts banned. This is not the same thing. ManyChat is a verified partner of Meta, the owner of Instagram. So connecting ManyChat to your account to run these automated DM conversations will not penalize your account. So to recap so far, we've got your 3 pinned reels to the top of your profile. When people view them or they read your caption, they are going to see a call to action to comment a keyword. Once they comment that keyword, a DM is going to fire off, and that's going to start the nurturing process for them to become a warm person on your profile, to to a lead to eventually a sale in your business. Now, what are the other tools that generate DMs? Because this is our end goal here. DMs are gold for you as a business owner. The answer is Instagram stories. Now, back in the day, Instagram stories were all about sharing the behind the scenes of your business. They were treated kind of like a reality TV show of your business. But today I find the best strategy is a little different. Instagram stories are less about airing out your personal life and more about being strategic to start those conversations to fire off those DM automations. Here's what I mean. First, you can create a single Instagram story, whether it's 15 seconds or 30 seconds, that shares information on screen and encourages viewers to reply with your keyword right below your story. I've done this strategy myself, and it's an amazing way to generate DMs because you can also connect that beautiful ManyChat software to your Instagram stories so that when someone comments that keyword or replies to your story with that keyword, that DM automation can fire off. Here's an example of a story where I was getting ready for a master class, and in a casual way, I invited people to reply to my story in order to get a last minute seat. Now, this single story strategy works great, but what works even better are multi-sequence stories. I'm talking 3 stories. Literally, that's all you need to post. And here are the 3 types. The first story is you showing up on camera or sharing an image with text on top. But the point is you want to introduce a fact or you want to highlight a pain point that you know your audience has. And then you want to include an engagement sticker like the poll or the slider sticker so that people can say yes or tell me more, this is so me. Now, the second story that you're going to post right after this first one takes that first problem that you presented in the first story and it goes deeper. It connects to a deeper pain point, or it highlights to the viewer that this is a big problem, or there's true urgency of why they need to solve this problem in their life today. Now, the third story to this sequence, which you're going to post right after the second, is the solution that they're looking for. And in general, that's going to be a link to your blog post, a podcast, a freebie or opt-in that you have, or maybe even a sales page to an offer that you sell. The point is you want to bring it full circle for your viewer and make sure that you are closing that loop for them and you are offering the solution to that problem that you just dug up for them. Now, the key on this third story is you're going to include a call to action for them to comment your keyword, there's that keyword again, so that they can then get the resource that you're talking about in their DM. They don't have to search the internet. Literally, you're going to send them that link right away. It's magical. You can post a story sequence just like I described, and while it's up for 24 hours, you're going to see a steady stream of DMs coming through as people are replying to your story. And if you have that beautiful software set up, every single reply is going to be getting an immediate response back through your DM automations. There's the big picture. The top of your Instagram profile is like the landing page of your website. All of your pinned reels are like the secondary pages of your website, and every single reel will have a call to action for a viewer to comment a keyword, which will then allow your automation software to fire up, send them a message, and start that nurturing process, even while you're at the park, at dinner, or sleeping. Then the next time you're at your desk, you're going to check your DMs, you're going to see if people have questions, you're going to see if people purchased your offer. It's really quite amazing. Have you heard of my seasons method before? It's the way that I do less to sell more on Instagram. When your business is in a season of visibility, meaning you need new eyeballs, new profiles over to your Instagram profile, and therefore your business, you want to focus on the features that do exactly that get your profile out there in front of new people. So here are 3 features of Instagram you can use to really drive more visibility over to your profile. The first feature is stories, but more specifically, tagging key accounts in your stories. I know I said that a little dramatically, but I'm going to say it again. Tagging key accounts in your stories is the best way to get shown in front of new audiences. So for example, what you want to do is shout out another account who's obviously not a competitor, but maybe someone in a similar space as you, so that perhaps you both have similar followers. If you're a yoga studio and there's a juice shop down the road, shout out the juice shop because you both have probably a similar audience and yet you're not competitors. When you tag key strategic accounts in your stories by giving them a shout out or just introducing your audience to them, on their end, they get a notification that you've mentioned them in their stories, and then they're able to reshare your story in front of their audience. This is key. This is how you get new eyeballs on your story that you created. So right now, I want you to brainstorm other accounts that are in a similar space as you. They're not competitors, but the two of you attract a similar type of follower, and write down all the account names of people you can think of who you could reasonably shout out in your stories and hope that they reshare your story in front of their audience. The second feature to gain more visibility is hashtags. Now hear me out, because I know we've heard about hashtags for years, but hashtags have evolved over the years. Did you know that people can now follow hashtags? Hashtags have their own pages that people can follow. So this is why I recommend that you still continue to use hashtags in both your captions and in your stories. In your captions, you can use up to 30 hashtags, and I still do that. I use anywhere between 20 and 30 every single time I post. And in your stories, you can also share up to 10 hashtags. Now this feature changes sometimes, but it used to be that when you would go to a hashtag page, you could also see stories tagged with that hashtag. Lately, I haven't seen tagged stories, so maybe it's something that Instagram has removed. Maybe they're testing, who knows? So when in doubt about using hashtags, still use them in your caption, and why not try them in your stories too? The third and best way to get more visibility over to your profile is, drumroll please, Reels. Simply by making short form videos, aka Reels, your account has the best chance it's ever had in years to go viral. And the goal here is not to go viral with your Reels just for the sake of being popular. The goal is to make Reels specific to your industry, specific to your niche, so that you go viral in front of the right people. I know some accounts that have stopped posting any other type of content and have just gone all in on Reels. Reels now have their own feed, so people can literally scroll just looking for Reels. And by the way, these are Reels from accounts they're not following, so this is a good way for you to get in front of other people. And Reels are also showing up on the Explore page. It's very clear that Instagram is loving Reels. So if you're needing more followers and more visibility to your business, make Reels today. The next season is the season of engagement. So maybe you have enough visibility, you have enough followers, but now you need some feedback from them. You need to actually know why they're following you. What are they most interested in? So when you're in a season of engagement, there are 3 features I love to focus on. The first feature is Instagram story stickers, but not just any stickers. I'm talking the stickers that Instagram has specifically designed for you, your account, to get more engagement. The poll sticker, the quiz sticker, the slider sticker, the countdown sticker. Sometimes there's a DM sticker. These are all ways for people to engage beyond just viewing your story. In fact, one of my most viewed stories was when I featured my new nails and I asked people if they liked them or not using a poll sticker. It didn't really matter to me whether people liked them or not because my nails already were done, but it was just so funny to me how many people voted, and then Instagram showed that story to even more people. It was bananas. So don't be afraid to invite your viewers to give their opinion on little things throughout your day, whether it's business related or not, but use those engagement stickers. The second feature that's really great for engagement is Reels. I know we've talked about Reels already, and Reels are a great way to drive new people to your profile, but they're also a fantastic way to connect with your current audience. Because Reels are most likely to be pushed out of any other type of content that you can post today, your Reels content is most likely to get in front of your followers' eyeballs first. So if you need to engage with your current following, make a reel and give them a call to action, whether it's built into your reel itself or in the caption. Speaking of captions, captions are the third best feature to generate engagement to your account. Now, of course, in your caption, you can ask people to like, you can ask them to comment, but you can also ask them to share your post, especially if it's relevant for other people, or even save the post, especially if it's great for future reference. The key here is to give your readers a call to action in your caption. So don't just write a story and leave it at that. Be sure to give your viewer or your reader an action step to take, whether that's to like, comment, save, or share. The next season is lead generation. So by now you have a good amount of followers, you know what they want and why they're following. Now you need to know who's kind of interested in your business's offers, in your services, in your products. You want to know who's ready to become a lead in your business. And for this season, there are 3 features I really like to use. The first feature is the poll sticker in your stories. I love the poll sticker, and here's why. I never give people the option to tap no. You'll never see no as an option in my poll sticker. Instead, the options are usually yes, and then send me the link. I always give people the option to press send me the link so that I can then follow up with them in their DMs and send them the link that they're asking for. Oftentimes a link can be to an opt-in page, a waitlist page, a sales page. This is how you get your leads. Now, if you don't have a link to send people to, you can make that option something like tell me more. This is another way that someone can give you permission for you to follow up with them inside of the DMs. Tell them more about what you shared in your story and be sure to ask for their email address so that you can follow up. Another great feature to use to generate leads is the close friends feature on Instagram. I think this is a really underutilized feature, but instead of just adding your besties to the close friends list, what you can do is add your most engaged followers to your close friends list. You can share with them close friends only content, sneak peeks, or tips that only they're getting. With this type of close friends list, I'd consider every person on that list to be a lead. That way, whenever you're launching something new or running a promotion, be sure to serve your close friends first with first dibs content. Another great feature to generate leads is to use your captions, but this time in your caption, ask people to DM you a code. So you're gonna write out your story, you're gonna write out what you're offering in your caption, and near the end, ask them to DM you a code. You can make it up. It could be ABC, or it could be 3 red apple emojis, whatever you want it to be. But essentially, you're asking people to put their hand up. They're gonna put their hand up by sending you that code, and that code then gives you permission to add them as a lead, whether that's through your email list or a private list that you're keeping track of so that you can follow up with them when your offer is ready to go. Next is the season of sales. We're in business here. We are here to sell, so we can't be afraid of it. We need to embrace it. And there are certain features within Instagram that are amazing for closing sales. Here are some of my favorites. The first feature is the quiz sticker inside of Instagram stories. I love to use this when my promotion is running and I want to list out all the reasons why I think someone is being held back from joining whatever my offer is. So what I like to do is use the quiz sticker and list out all the objections, all the things that are holding people back. And then I ask my audience in my story to choose the one that's holding them back. After that, I'm going to look at all the responses because I can see who chose which answer, and I'm going to follow up with them inside of the DMs based on what they said. So for example, if they said, I can't join right now because your course is too expensive, I'm gonna follow up with them inside of the DMs and say, hey, I got your feedback, I really appreciate it. I want you to know that we just released a payment plan to make the investment a little bit more budget friendly. The second feature that's amazing for closing sales, especially when you're running a promotion, a launch, a flash sale, is going live. I think a lot of people underutilize going live, myself included, but I always go live whenever I'm running a promotion. I want to be in front of people as much as possible. They say that people need to see an offer between 7 and 21 times before they're ready to make a decision. Eek. So one great way to show up and talk about your promotion with a new angle or with a new light is by going live. Then, if your live is solid and you want to save it on your profile, instead of deleting it, you can actually save it and post it as a video that lives on your feed. Another fantastic feature I love to use to close sales when I'm running a promotion or a sale is direct messages. When in doubt, lead people to the DM. So if I'm going to post a story, I'll tell people to reply to the story, and that will create a DM thread. I want to know all their questions. I want to know all the reasons why they're being held back. So in the DMs is often where those conversations happen. It's where people feel like they're getting a personalized response from me because they are. My team and I are helping them out inside the DMs. And this is truthfully where most sales on Instagram happen, in the DMs. Don't be afraid of them, embrace them. Now you can easily swipe these ideas and make them your own, all to get fresh eyeballs on your business and sales in your bank account. Now the cool thing is these video ideas are working right now. So don't just watch this video, take action and make these ideas for your business and hit post, because I know too many drafts go unpublished. So your challenge is to take one of the ideas I share in this video, make it today and hit publish. And make sure to tag me, Elise Darma, when you do post, because I would love to see your spin on these ideas that I'm gonna share with you now. Now, if you're still on the fence about whether Instagram will actually help you sell more of your products, you gotta meet my student, Sarah, who is an online plant shop owner. Sarah Peel from Petite Soleil Studio made $11,000 in sales with less less than 800 followers, and her business wasn't even 1 year old yet. Then there's Lonnie, an artist who did about $1,000 in sales one month to making over $15,000 in sales the next. Selling your products on Instagram is totally doable. Let's dive in and let me show you the very first reel you can make. The first idea I'm calling my favorite. The idea is it's a way for you to show off your favorite thing, whether that's your favorite product that you've recently made or launched, maybe it's your favorite combination of products you sell, or it could even be a favorite piece of feedback that you got from a customer. And small hint here, that favorite thing of yours will quickly become your viewer's favorite thing. Kind of the point of this reel. Believe it or not, in a sea of 1,000 options online, people are looking to be told what to buy. So make it easy for them and highlight a great product you love. Here's an example of what I mean. After you've shown off your favorite thing, which ideally is your product, be sure to include a call to action, either as on-screen text or in the caption, so that your viewer knows exactly how to get that product in their hands. The second reel idea is called Not to Be Dramatic, but meaning you want to be a little dramatic. This reel is a perfect and funny way to feature something that can genuinely be life-changing for your customer. It also gives you the chance to show your product in action, which gives your viewers a POV experience as if they already own and use that product in their life. Here's an example. Here are a few prompts or ideas on how you can make this reel work for your brand. Not to be dramatic, but this dress can be dressed up or down for almost any occasion. Not to be dramatic, but this tripod could totally revolutionize your content creation game. So see how I took that opening hook and then I added a spin at the end to make it work for my hypothetical product brand? That's what I want you to do for yours. The third reel idea is a classic how-to tutorial. How-to videos are great because they not only show your product being used, but these types of videos are also so very shareable and savable. Two things that Instagram loves to see happen to your content, because if people are saving and sharing your content, and that is the key to growth these days, getting your content in front of people who don't know you. But if your content is informative, like a how-to video, it doesn't matter that they don't know you. They're just happy that you're giving them an aha moment or a handy tip that they can use in their life. And spoiler alert, that's how they then become a follower and then a customer to your business. Here's an example of a how-to reel. You can make this reel idea work for your brand in a few ways. One, you can show how to use one of your products, duh. Two, you can show how to pair a few of your products together, win-win, because people are then gonna wanna buy more of your products. And three, you can show how to gift one of your products. Yes, it might sound obvious, but again, people need to be told what to buy. And if your product is an amazing gift idea for a family member or a friend, show them that through your reel. Now, if any of these ideas are standing out to you, be sure to take note, but keep watching because I got a whole lot more for you, including number 4, which I'm calling If Your Goal Is To. Now, this idea tells your audience that you understand their long-term goal, and it gives you the chance to share exactly how your products help them with achieving that goal. And keep in mind, you can make this video anytime in the year. It doesn't just have to be in January because people have goals all year round. Here's an example of this. You can make this idea work for your product brand in several ways. One, you can share one of your products that your audience should use if they want to hit a goal of theirs. Two, you could share one of your products that your viewer could use if they want to get rid of an annoying problem. Let's say you're trying on rings and you split your finger open by accident. Your priority in that moment is not going to be to find your perfect ring. It's going to be dealing with your open wound. A little graphic, but just a way to paint the picture that people run away from their problems more than they run to their desires. Now, the third way to make this idea work for you is to share one of your products that you personally use to change your life for the better. People love to be inspired. The fifth reel idea is called I Got You. Now, your audience might feel like you're in their head when you post this one, but it shows that you listen to your customers and you've thought of all the things that might hold them back from using your product. Here's what I mean. Ways that you can make this idea work for your brand. One, you can highlight one of your products and share a common complaint that you hear from your customers. Yes, addressing complaints is actually a really empowering thing to do because your viewer might have that same question in their mind, but if you address it head on, you help them overcome that objection and therefore become closer to becoming a customer. Two, you can highlight one of your products and share a common question that your audience has. Again, this is another way that you can help your viewer overcome any objections they might have before buying your product. And three, you can highlight one of your products and share different ways that your customers can use it because people might not realize the versatility of your product, so be sure to make it crystal clear for them. The sixth real idea is called What I Blink Today. Now, this is a fun idea that gives your audience the chance to see inside of your day-to-day life, including using your product or running your business. Now, bonus points if you can add a little humor like this example. Here are a few ways you can make this idea work for your product brand. One, share what you did as a product-based business owner on a certain day. Choose an interesting day, of course. Two, share how you use one of your products in your day-to-day life. And three, share what you ate and somehow relate it back to your product. Be creative. The seventh idea is called POV, which stands for point of view. This is a trend that has not died in years. Remember, you're sharing something from either your point of view or your customer's point of view as if they already are using your product. Here's an example. Ways you can make this idea work for your brand. One, share your customer's point of view when they're using your product, of course. Two, share your point of view when you're creating your product. Use this as a chance to highlight something that they might not know goes into the creation process. And it's probably one more reason that makes you stand out from your competitors. And three, share your point of view of when, where, and how you get your next product idea, because this is a great way to tease at your next product launch. Number 8 is a fun one. It is called You Have 1 Minute. I mean, who doesn't like a hypothetical forced deadline decision? This idea gives you the chance to feature several of your products at once and boost your engagement on your post by asking viewers to vote on their favorite in the comments. Here's what I mean. Now, here are a few ways you can make this real idea work for your brand. One, share a few products in a 30-second reel and have your audience pick one in the comments. Two, share a few product options and have your viewers pick one to deal with a certain pain point of theirs that they have. Hint, that one's really good for market research. And three, share different versions of a new product and have your audience pick their favorite. This is a great time to involve your audience when you're choosing the colors or the logos or some sort of aesthetic detail of a product, because then when you launch that product, they're gonna feel like they were part of the creation process and they're gonna want that product that much more. Number 9 is called Essentials to Achieve or Do X. Now, stick with me on this one because this reel helps you dive right into the heart of your customers' desired result that they want for their life or pain point that they want to fix. And of course, your featured product is going to help your customer either achieve what they want or solve what they don't want. Here's an example of what I mean. Now you can make this idea work for your product brand by one, sharing products that are essential for your customer to achieve the desired result that they want in their life. Two, sharing products that are essential to stop your customer's existing pain point that's literally keeping them up at night. And three, you can share things that are essential for you while you create your products. And ideally, it's one of your products. The first type of content you can post, whether it's to your feed or your reels, is seasonal content, all depending on the holiday or season that we're in. And yes, this idea is relevant to you whether you sell physical or digital products. I want you to think, and I want you to Google all the major holidays and non-traditional holidays that you can link back to your business. You can have fun with it, incorporating these seasonal themes into your posts. You can use the colors of the season, whatever idea sparks some creativity in you. Of course, I have some ideas. Let me show you a few that I found. Why this works is because it makes your content timely and of course relevant. With seasonal content, it's possible to reach new followers and new eyeballs, especially if it gets on the Explore page. Another way to think of it is to highlight any seasonal items that you have. For example, Why this works is because this kind of content captures the feeling and emotion around the holidays. Usually there's a lot of excitement and anticipation, and this is a great feeling to associate with your brand. These kind of posts put people in the mood or the spirit, and they're more likely to share or save your post because of it. The second content idea for you, the product-based business, is to showcase your products as gifts. Not GIF, but GIFTS, 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 gifts. This content idea is probably best for the physical product creator, but I sell digital products and some of my digital products would make really good gifts, just saying. So you could adapt this to your digital product business as well. For example, you could create a gift guide to highlight multiple products in your shop. In fact, you could use the Instagram feature guides to create this. And here's an example that isn't a guide, but it's a carousel post. So scrolling through as a consumer, I can get an idea of how to use this shop's products and give awesome gifts. Why this kind of content works is it matches your product to your consumer's needs. They either need that product or they need a really good gift idea. Plus, this type of content helps someone visualize your product in their life. It's a lifestyle piece of content. And when people are looking for gifts, they're typically in a purchasing mindset. So if you position your products at the right time in the right place, you've got sales, my friend. The third content idea is a product mock-up. Now, this is an idea that's most likely for my digital product creators out there. Because you sell a digital product, it doesn't feel real. It's not something that you can hold up and show in a post. You want to create a mock-up to show all the components of your digital product so that it feels tangible, so that the person on the other side feels like they're getting an actual thing. They're getting true value for their money. I use digital mockups all the time. In fact, I have them on my sales pages so that people know exactly what they're getting inside of this product. Even though it's not being shipped to them and sent in the mail, they're getting access to this product through a private student portal, but I still want them to feel like they're getting a lot for what their investment is. Why this type of content works is because, like I said, it allows people to visualize and feel like your digital product is really tangible. The fourth content idea is a product flat lay. This is most likely for the physical product creator. A flat lay is where you put your products on display and maybe bring in a few accessories, whether they're seasonal or lifestyle, and really show your products off. Show the close-ups, show the best features of your products. This type of content post works because it really showcases your product and all the components that are included with it. And flat lays add context, so the viewer can contextualize how this product fits into their lifestyle. Speaking of lifestyle, my fifth content idea for you, the product creator, is to showcase the lifestyle of your consumer. Of course, this is their lifestyle with your product in it. I want you to show how your product enhances the life of your customer. This type of content works because when they see a lifestyle post, it allows them to associate your product with that lifestyle outcome that they really want for themselves. And of course, it helps your audience picture your product in their life, using it and loving it. Lifestyle posts are also a great way to really highlight the features of your product. Is it waterproof? Is it compact? How does it fit into my life? The sixth content idea for you, the product creator, is a post that introduces your team. As business owners, there's often a lot of moving parts and people behind the scenes, but it's not a bad thing to showcase your team and show what goes into running your company and making it as successful as it is. Think about featuring your team members, showing what they do for your company and how they take care of your customers. Why this content works is A, it takes the pressure off of you from being on camera all the time, especially if you're someone like me, where your face is kind of the brand. And B, it gives your audience a chance to connect to your brand deeper because now there's a variety of personalities. The seventh content idea is sharing behind the scenes. This idea is easier if you have a physical product. So I want you to think about showing how your product is made, how you fulfill orders, what is your customer support team doing? How do you design new products? How do you launch new products? Show all these exciting things to bring your audience into this process with you. That way, when your product launches, they're going to feel like they helped to contribute and create it just a little bit. Here are some examples.
But I think the strategy was, let's make it super user friendly. let's make it, I don't want to say evergreen because that's not what it is. It's like a living experience. Like it's a living course.
Why this content works is because it makes your audience feel included and in the know. It's kind of like an added perk for them to be following you on Instagram. Plus, this type of content allows you to be more relatable and build that deeper relationship. I'm talking the know, like, and trust factor. The 8th content idea is user-generated content and testimonials, 2 very powerful things. User-generated content shows your product in action, but not in that really branded, polished kind of way. User-generated content are photos and images and videos from your customers. So to get this kind of content, which is very powerful, you want to think about how you can encourage your customers to share more about your product. Think about the note they receive when they get your package in the mail. Maybe you can include something there. Maybe you can develop a hashtag or a system for them to tag you in their post so that you can see it and then repost it to your audience. Why this content works is because it's done for you content. People are making it for you. Plus, it's social proof. Your followers can see that people are buying your product and loving it enough to post about it. That's huge. Testimonials are also a great way to show that your product really delivers on its promises. In order to share testimonials, I do recommend that you get explicit permission to share, especially when someone privately DMs you. Make sure to ask for permission to share the DM publicly.
$40,000. Yep, that's the additional revenue that I have generated since working with Elise.
I went from having about 3,000 followers to 16,000 followers now.
Why does this work? Again, social proof is very powerful and often does the selling for you. All right, here are 5 types of content you can post to Instagram, showing face optional. The first content type is sharing a day in the life. So sharing from your perspective, what's an average day? What's your typical routine? Why this type of content works is because even though you're behind the camera showing your audience your routine and what you do, it still feels personal and intimate. Let me show you an example of what I mean. If you're going to create a day in the life, I really recommend to choose the right music type. The music sets the vibe. That way you don't even have to talk as you're demoing your day. Simply film yourself as you go about your typical routines and find the right music to match your vibe. The second content type is memes and GIFs, 2 of my favorite things to post as a business on Instagram. Yes, as a business, you're allowed to have a sense of humor. The key to making memes or GIFs work is to share a funny take on something relatable in your industry. This type of content works because A, you don't have to share a picture of yourself, but you can still share your personality and your sense of humor. The GIF examples are pulled from pop culture, and I guess I had a notebook phase because I kept finding notebook GIFs and making them work for my industry and my niche. The getting into character one is me making fun of myself because yes, I actually do that kind of thing when I need to show up on camera and warm myself up. And with the meme, I don't post memes as often as GIFs, but what I did there was take a trending meme and I adapted it to my niche to show my audience how my business started and how it's going. The third type of content you can post on Instagram that doesn't require showing your face is a carousel post. A carousel post is an info-packed post that encourages your viewer to swipe through multiple slides because there's so much good information. Why this works is because you can pack a lot of value into one carousel post, and because they're lengthier, up to 10 slides of images or videos, they tend to keep people on your profile longer, which the algorithm tracks, and then it says, this is a good post, I'm gonna show it to more people. Here are some examples of what I mean. In the first example, I have shared 6 story prompts in this carousel post so that you can swipe through and grab ideas whenever you don't know what to share to your stories. Now, this post might look low-ish in terms of its engagement, but from my side, when I look at the insights, it got a ton of saves. So people were saving this post for future reference, which is exactly what I want them to do when it comes to a carousel post like this one. Here's another example. Instead of giving people ideas, what I did was walk them through the steps of how to make a reel. Now, of course, I made this when reels were really new, and so people enjoyed this post a ton. We have a lot of likes, but more importantly, there's a lot of saves behind this post that I can see in my insights. The fourth content idea is to showcase something or someone. What I mean by this is to show off one of your offers, one of your products, or show off one of your clients, ideally a successful client that worked with you. Why this works is because if you offer products, you're able to help someone really visualize and feel in a tangible way what it is that you actually offer. If you're someone who works with clients and you feature a successful client, this really works because A, it's social proof and it shows that you've worked with someone and you've gotten them a result, but B, it's an opportunity for your followers to relate to someone else other than you. So if they can see themselves in your client and they can see that you've helped them, they're going to be a lot more curious and interested to work with you. Here are some examples. In this reel made for a salon, we're seeing a beautiful before and after of a client. So if you're someone who runs a brick and mortar business, I love to see before and afters, whether it's something in the beauty industry or even if it's your customers trying your clothes on. Show your viewers what it's like to be a customer inside of your store as much as possible. This example is from me where I walk the viewer through my digital product called Videos Vault. I highly recommend for people to do this, especially if you're a digital product creator like myself. When the product doesn't feel tangible, it's a digital product, you really want to take people in and show them what's inside so that they can get a sense of what they're actually getting when they sign up. And here's one more example where I put together some video testimonials of my students and clients. I put them together in one snappy video so that if anyone had any doubts about me, whether I was legit or not, they could view this video and my students could vouch for the results they got. We've got one more content type to go, but before we get there, I want to give you a few tips on how you can actually get a little bit more comfortable being on camera. My first tip is to start small. Simply post a photo of yourself. It could be a selfie, it could be something from a brand photo shoot, but post a photo of yourself and then use the caption to actually connect with your audience. Here's an example of mine. This photo was taken quickly after a video shoot, but in the caption, I decided to share the story of when I was on live radio across Canada and I choked on air. This was an easy way to grab a picture of myself, discard the ones I didn't like, choose the one I did like, and then show up as a real person through the story that I shared in my caption. Once you get comfortable with sharing photos of yourself, I then encourage you to try stories. Stories are 15-second videos, and I know it can feel awkward when you're initially talking to your phone, but I really want you to think of talking to your best friend. In fact, you can grab a sticky note and write your best friend's name on the sticky note, put it on your phone, and literally talk to your friend or print their face out. If you have a colored printer at home, I don't have printers, but if you have a printer, print their face out and put it on your phone and pretend like you're talking to them. I know it feels silly, but the truth is, social media is an outlet for you to reach hundreds and thousands of people. You actually are talking to people, it's just through your phone. So the more you can get comfortable talking to devices like this, the better you'll be. My last tip here is to practice putting yourself out there simply because Instagram is no longer about perfection. It's no longer about filters to hide our imperfections. In fact, there are so many accounts that have blown up on Instagram with millions of followers because the person behind the account is showing up as a real person. People totally appreciate authentic, real, and raw because no one wants to compare themselves to that perfect pedestal which doesn't even exist. I grew up in the 90s, the early 2000s. I remember looking at magazines with perfectly airbrushed models, and I always felt bad about myself because my skin didn't look that clear. Magazines set this unrealistic standard, and social media today is knocking all of that down. Showing up as the real you is the way to connect with people today. All right, the fifth type of content to post on Instagram that doesn't require a face is infographics. Infographics are text-based posts that share things like infographics and cheat sheets. Why this type of post works is because you can share a ton of value through an infographic, and so much so that your followers will be encouraged to save your post for future reference. Here are some examples. This comparison chart of mine is where I wanted to teach my audience what a shiny object was, aka a distraction, and what a non-shiny object was, aka an opportunity. I put this post together because I wanted my audience to know what the difference was because I had a new opportunity coming up for them. See how that can work? This next example is where I gave my audience 6 caption starters. This post got saved and shared a ton because there was so much value in it. And this post really taught me that my audience really wanted done for you captions, which by the way, I now have as a thing. And this example is a play off of another post that went viral, but this time I made it for the entrepreneur in unprecedented times. With these ideas, you can now go forth and create Instagram content that doesn't require you showing your face. But if you're feeling a little inspired, a little adventurous, and you want to show up on camera in the fastest possible way to grow your account today, which is Reels, I have something for you. This shows you my entire Reels process from start to finish so that you can show up on camera with confidence and without any anxiety or overwhelm. Check it out. To ease in revenue, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me today on content types that don't require you to show your face. If you want to keep learning more about this topic, check out this video right here next.